Gets me through my morning every day. Every morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide's Jody and Hazy on Nova.
G'day guys, thanks so much for jumping on board. We thought we were just going to have a really nice, relaxed Friday morning, just cruise into the weekend. And then, wouldn't you believe it, our boy Albo, a.k.a. the Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese, he said, you know what? Let's chat.
Yeah.
Let's spontaneously chat.
And then because we take our political equality very, very seriously, we thought, we've got to get Dutton on. Actually, he was just next door at 5AA and we went, oi, Dutton, come in here.
Sure, makes sense, doesn't it? Peter Dutton versus Anthony Albanese, and geez, they went off. No, they didn't go. They're quite lovely though, actually.
Yeah.
Our next guest came into power after defeating Scott Morrison in 2022.
Thank you for this extraordinary honour.
As we count down to the election on May 3rd, please welcome to Nova 919, the man of the people.
Delulu with no Salulu.
Australia's 31st Prime Minister, Mr. Anthony Albanese.
Oh, the Prime Minister, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
You're sounding up and about for a man who has hit the election trail hard. Are you not exhausted?
Well, I am a bit, but I get the adrenaline pumping. I was at TAFE there in Adelaide late yesterday and talking to the students there, the apprentices doing carpentry and joinery and doing plumbing. Really enthuses you. I was at a school in Perth first thing yesterday, and I've already done a press conference at an urgent care clinic here in Brisbane this morning, and later today I'll be off to Tasmania and then off to Victoria. So it's a busy day, but you got to keep going.
Can I ask, when was the last time you saw your wife or your family?
Well, Jody was here in Brisbane. She, I've got to say, got to stay in the hotel rather than leave pretty early. I left before 6 this morning. And so I'll see her in a little while. She's spending time with me. And, of course, every Jody is a good person,
So
as
true.
you know.
So true, Prime Minister.
Well played, Mr. Prime Minister. Mr. Prime Minister, can I ask you as well, and we were talking about this behind the scenes before you came on, tomorrow's a grand final, and it's a big, big event. Take us through your game day routine. What time are you getting out of bed? What's for breakfast? What
do you have for dinner tonight?
Yeah.
How do you actually relax ahead of what will be the day that will determine if you become our Prime Minister again?
Well, I haven't thought about dinner tonight. Last time round in 2022, I had dinner just with Jody. It was the one time during the whole campaign we had dinner just the two of us.
Yeah.
And then I got up and did a whole lot of breakfast TV crosses. I expect that I'll do that again tomorrow morning and then go to some polling booths. I'll be in Victoria first thing tomorrow morning. I'll wake up there and then I'll fly up to Sydney, go to my own electorate of Grainler. I can confirm I will be voting Labor at the election tomorrow.
If you were voting Liberal, then what's going on? Who's going to vote for the opposition?
And also,
No. I was born Labor and I'll die Labor.
and also a question for you: how do you fly? You're not jumping on Jetstar. Who do you fly with?
No, we have both myself and the Leader of the Opposition have access to Royal Australian Air Force planes or a plane. So the media travelling party go with us as well around the country. So today 3 states, yesterday 3 states as well. So it's been a pretty busy time, I've got to say. But it is an opportunity where Australians are switched on more so than at other times. Every Australian gets to vote tomorrow, and there's a real choice over whether we do cut 20% off student debt, whether your listeners do get a tax cut under us or a tax hike under Peter Dutton, over whether we continue to strengthen Medicare, over whether my government continues to work with Mally, who I was with yesterday, on building more houses and dealing with those issues as well, on whether free TAFE remains permanent, which is what we want to do. So there is a very clear choice tomorrow. I don't want to see massive cuts to pay for this absurd nuclear reactor plant. I want to get on with the building of renewables backed by gas and batteries, which will be cheaper for households under us, and make sure that we take advantage of the opportunities that are there from some of the shifts that are happening in the global economy, and continue to do things like support the steelworks there at Whyalla.
These are all fantastic long-term plans.
Yes.
Long-term plans. Mr. Prime Minister, let's talk short-term plans. And let's say, and everything goes well, and obviously tomorrow night you are told that you will still be the Prime Minister. What happens? What happens in celebration tomorrow night? Do you go straight to bed? Do you have a celebratory dinner? Do you and
drink?
Jody go absolutely off your face? I don't know. What happens? What happens?
Well, the tradition is that whoever is not successful rings the person who is successful, to put it in that polite way, and concedes defeat. And then they give the first speech, and then the person who is going to be Prime Minister gives a second speech. Last time around I did it at a local club in my electorate. It was pretty late, so let me just say this, the audience was pretty loose by about 11:30. They'd been watching the show for about 5 hours, the results come in. And so they were pretty excited because it had been quite a while before Labor had won an election. I'll have my election night event at a local venue in the inner west of Sydney.
Yep.
And so I'll have to give a speech. It'll either be a really good night or a really miserable one for me and for everyone in the room of supporters. But then if we're successful, the work begins the next day. Last time round I went and just had a cup of coffee with some of my friends. Indeed, last time round I came out in the morning of my home in Marrickville there to get the morning papers, and I was wearing a footy jumper on my jammy bottom. So that appeared on the front page of every newspaper. So I'll be awake up this time and be more conscious of not wandering out at 6 a.m. after 3 hours sleep and looking pretty ordinary.
Wow.
So that was my first photographic shots of in the Monday morning papers last time.
I just sort of feel like, there's so many people sort of sitting on the edge of who they're going to vote for. Let's never use the word jammies ever again.
Well, that's why they were pajama bottoms then. That's what they were.
Prime Minister, do you have a walkout song in victory? Do they come to you, your people, and say, what would you like to play if indeed you are victorious? And can I suggest Chapel Roan's Pink Pony Club? I think that would be amazing.
Well, it would be certainly. It's a great song, and it's been covered by lots of people as well. I have noticed. But my song is "Sounds of Then" by Gangajang. That we've got approval of doing, and throughout the campaign, that's what we've been playing out. You know, everyone thinks it's called "This Is Australia," that song, and it says so much about our great, vast nation that I've been crossing, not just for the last 5 weeks, but certainly for the last 3 years as PM.
I know that you're a very busy man today and we're going to let you go. I just have one last question. Should the unthinkable happen and you do, in fact, lose, how long do they give you to get out of the lodge? How long before you have to pack up all your gear and move out of Dodge?
Well, I said to Mr. Morrison on election night last year to just let us know when that was okay. I wasn't in any great rush. I do note that Peter Dutton has already measured up the curtains at Kirribilli House because to live in, not the lodge, because he said that early in the campaign. He said he'd live there.
Right.
But I think one of the things about Australia is that we're respectful of democratic processes and I would certainly be respectable if that happens, we are putting ourselves forward for the Australian people. I think there is a real choice. We have a plan to build on the work that we've done in our first term to strengthen Medicare and to have that free tape and cut student debt by 20%, cut taxes. I think we've put forward a positive plan for the next 3 years, and I'm hopeful of a good result. But I'll accept the verdict of the Australian people.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, all the very best for tomorrow. I was going to give you the opportunity to make a last-minute pitch. I think you just did. It's not too late to change your mind about Chapel Roan ahead of tomorrow, okay?
Mr. Prime Minister.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
And now, Joe, as we just spoke to the Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister.
Yes.
That is Mr. Anthony Albanese. So it would be almost criminal of us not to speak to someone else who's very, very important in this space.
So in the interest of fairness and equality, we have the Leader of the Opposition, Peter Dutton, in the studio with us. And Peter, sorry, that was a real quick turnaround from the Prime Minister to you, so I'm a little rattled. Welcome. A big day for you tomorrow. We just spoke to the Prime Minister about his routine ahead of what he will do tonight and tomorrow morning. What will you do? What's the process for you?
Well, Jodie, thank you. And Hazy, great to see you both. It's just a crazy sort of run to the finish line now. So we're busy on and off planes and visiting marginal seats, and it's been an exciting campaign. Honestly, we do live in the best country in the world. I know we say that, but we've met some amazing people here in Adelaide and right across the country. And, some sad stories as well. People really doing it tough at the moment. And I think in part that's what this election is about. How can you manage the economy and help people with cost of living pressures? And our policy around 25 cent a litre cut for fuel is really important. And $1,200 back by way of tax rebate, just to help people with the immediate costs that they've got now, and then fix the economy up from there and try and bring some of the prices down. Food's up by 30% at the moment, which is really crunching a lot of families and a lot of budgets.
You'll be shocked to hear that we're not going to get overly political here on the Jodie and Hazy show.
I'm relieved to hear that.
Mainly through a lack of understanding.
Yeah.
Please.
Where will this election be run and won tomorrow?
There are a couple of seats. Obviously, we've got a great candidate here in Nicole Flint in Boothby, so that's a marginal seat to watch here. And James Stevens in Sturt has done a great job, and he'll, I think, increase his margin where he is, but he's really worked hard. The Spence I would watch as a seat here in South Australia as well. And then the big numbers are probably in Victoria as well. There are probably a dozen seats that are in play in Victoria alone. And then you go to New South Wales, WA, and maybe a couple in Queensland as well. So it's sort of an across-the-board spread, but it's much tighter than what the polls are showing at the moment. The really interesting thing is the seat-by-seat analysis, where you've got somebody who's working really hard, they've been knocking on doors, they've made a real impact locally, and you're seeing that coming through in some of the individual seat results.
What are people telling you? What are the people of Australia telling you are the real issues that matter to them?
The real issue has been cost of living, and as I say, food's up by 30%, grocery, electricity's up by 32%, gas is up by 40%. Close to 40%. I mean, some small businesses we've been to go and see, running a cafe, and they're renegotiating their power contract. It's gone up by 100%, and they're saying, look, it's killing us because we've passed on as much of the cost as we can in increasing the cost of a cup of coffee or toasted sandwich, whatever it might be, and our business just doesn't work anymore. So there've been some really, really sad stories, and that's why I say I think the Liberal Party always manages the economy and money more effectively, and that's what can help bring some of those prices down.
Are you confident tomorrow night?
I am confident. I've seen this movie before, and in 2019, the bookies paid out on Bill Shorten winning on the Friday, and of course he lost on the Saturday. No one saw it coming, and when I look at the seat-by-seat analysis, it's a very similar story this time around. So we've just got to go hard to the finish line, talk to as many people as we can, and I know a lot of people are disinterested and don't sort of switch on right until they have to pick up the pencil to vote in the polling booth. But we live in a great democracy, and we shouldn't take what we've got for granted. So it's an important vote this election. The
PM just said that you've measured up the curtains at Kirribilli House. Is that true?
Well, he's talking about winning what he's going to do to win the third term. He hasn't won the second yet, so hardly going to take sort of hubris advice from the PM.
Mr. Dunn, can I just ask you something? Can we just veer away from politics and everything just for a second? How the hell do you switch off? How do you separate yourself? How do you separate yourself with everything that's going on? Because you jokingly said to us before, "Oh, you had ratings yesterday. We're kind of in the same situation." There's a bit more pressure on yourself. Social media.
You guys smashed it, right? So obviously did a great job and got good loyal audience out there who appreciate the show. So
yeah, well, it was nice. It was nice.
Yeah, good. Well
but
done.
there's so much going on with social media. There's so much pressure. How do you switch off and, for example, get a good night's sleep?
Well, it's a bit harder now because our kids are Beck's 23, Harry's 20 and Tom's 19. So for me, what used to be the sort of the part of the week that I look forward to most was watching them play sport. Beck used to swim, the boys played footy, and just going there to watch them on a Friday night train or go and watch them play on a Saturday. It was a complete switch off from work, and you watch them develop and enjoy, and they loved having you there. So that was a really special part of life. But where we live at home, we're on a few acres. We've got some cattle, and I throw on a pair of shorts and just muck around and be normal, and no cameras and no phone, and jump out on the ride on mower, whatever it might be. And I've also done that with the kids. They've enjoyed that lifestyle as well. So it's being able to switch off, which you've got to do because a lot of the time it's 24/7 and it's long hours, but it is worth it because you can do a lot of good in this job.
Look at you two, just a couple of farm boys made your day.
Just a couple of blokes shirtless riding mowers.
That's not an image. Hazy, of you it might be, not of me though. I want to imagine that.
Peter Dutton, thank you so much for joining us in the studio. You're a very, very busy man. Hopefully you get some downtime over the next 24 hours.
I really appreciate it. Thank you very
And all the
much.
best for tomorrow. Thank you.
They're just two unemployed Aussie boys with over 2 million followers.
Oh, hitchhiker. We should pick him up. Thanks for the lift, fellas.
What's in the box, mate?
Oh, I just got my tambourines. I have my knife.
Oh, what's that for, mate?
It's just for my cake.
They've been making us laugh at our phones for years. Now they're back on our screens with their brand new show, The List.
It's more like a reverse bucket list of things you probably don't want to do before you die.
Please welcome to Nova 919, the inspired, unemployed Jack Steele and Matt Ford.
Oh, it's Jack and Falcon. G'day, boys.
How was that intro?
What the hell? Hollywood production.
I tell you what.
The reviews are going to be good on that one.
We only go the extra mile for the people we really care about. And I say this with all due respect, and it's above board. You two really get our juices flowing. So that's where we're at the moment.
Yeah, that's a compliment I've never got before, but I'll take it.
Imagine waking up and starting your day with that intro.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
you
someone's
did in the
going, "You getting my juices flowing, boys?" You're like, I'm ready.
I'm ready for anything.
Hey, boys, straight into it. Congratulations on your success. We were just having a bit of chat off air, and I think you guys are somehow getting better. I feel like the danger is when you start at such a high level with some of your videos, you're like, oh, geez, how do they keep this stuff up? But you guys are getting funnier. How the hell are you doing it?
Maybe very gradually. I don't know. I feel like I'm flatlining if not going down, but...
we I honestly reckon because we freak out so much that we're not getting better, so we try so much harder. We have so much pressure on like making the next one good.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of not the best way to live your life.
Yeah. One of my favourite skits is where you all wake up hungover and you're reflecting on what you did the night before. Does it get loose like that, or are you actually gradually growing up?
What could go wrong? What could go wrong when you got your own beer company as well?
Yeah.
No, that definitely still happens. I think like that can happen from years ago. I can still think of things I did in high school and cringe off my head when I'm in the shower about them. Like,
honestly, that's the thing. When you're in the shower and it's something that happened when you were on school excursion 15 years ago, and you go, and you try and just block it out, and then you just suppress it.
If you hear one of the boys yelling from the shower, you know it's like something they did. From the weekend or like 2 years ago or whatever.
Boys, The List premieres on Network 10 and Paramount Plus. Tell us about it.
It's a reverse bucket list of things around the world. This has been our dream to have a travel show. Like it's from the first day when we started doing these videos. Like, imagine if we could have a travel show. Never thought it'd happen. And then we finally got the opportunity with Warner Brothers to do something, and we kind of had a bucket list. Me and Jack have always had a bucket list of things we want to do. I'm like, oh, we'd love to do this, and they're like, no, that will suck. Like, no one wants to watch you go have fun. We're pretty much gonna make you go have the worst time of your life and film it, and hopefully people will get a kick out of that.
Yeah, and every situation we go into is because we get to a country, say we get to Japan, and then someone like a local will deliver us a list. So it's an item of things that we've got to do in the country that's in Japanese, so then you got to find someone to translate it, and then they start reading out what you got to do, and we genuinely don't know what these things are. And when we rock up to the activities or whatever it is, we are blindfolded in the bus, and we just have to sit there and wait. So when we walk out, it's like the first time we see it, which is
a lot of anxiety.
Very scary, and a lot of anxiety.
You guys are just suckers for punishment for the sake of our entertainment. We thank you so much. Oh, boys, we appreciate your time. Look, if you're not following the Inspired Unemployed on some sort of social media platform, then you're an idiot. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You obviously don't like humour. The list premieres on Network 10 and Paramount Plus. Guys, thank you so much for the time, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Warning, the following segment is for mature audiences only and may contain adult content, graphic language and nudity. Not that you'll see it. If easily offended, well, you're about to find out just how easily.
Your father, he's on the naughty list.
Jody and Hazy's Naughty at 6:40.
Naughty.
Shake it out, Joes. Those loose bits. Get them out of your system before we straighten up after 7 o'clock.
Okay, got it.
I'll say this much for free. Every parent knows that self-care can be hard to come by thanks to the daily grind of raising kids. Am I right?
So true.
Oh, my gosh.
Finding time for yourself is just very difficult.
Oh, good luck. One particular mum in Queensland got more than she bargained for after booking a massage. Her name is Sophie.
Yep.
And she thought she was heading to a regular massage parlour, only to discover that the business was actually a brothel. Let's hear from Sophie.
You know, in hindsight, there were flags, and they were red and waving. When it was halfway through, a guy walked in and he was like, oh no, I'm going to wait for that other person. And I was like, yeah, whatever. She's actually giving me a great massage for fair smack. But then she didn't change the towel or the face thing or anything when I left. She was just like, out, next. They were probably so confused as to why I was there, saying, I've got a sore neck.
I think this as well. Every time I see a massage parlour anywhere, the initial thought is,
Yes.
Is this dodgy?
Yeah.
Is it dodgy?
Yeah.
Is it going to finish in a way that you wouldn't display on the window?
The place that I go to has signs everywhere.
Yes.
Saying non-sexual massage.
Yep.
Which is good. But
yeah, and I went in there and I was like, hey, can I have a sexual massage? And they were like, read the sign.
well, Dewey was saying to me that they laugh in her face sometimes when she's like shakes her head when they ask for it, and she's like, no, absolutely not.
So they walk in where it says a non-sexual massage,
Yeah.
and they still ask for some sort of sexual activity.
Yes, absolutely. Ooh. Isn't that dodgy?
Oh, sorry, what's her name? Dewey.
I love Dewey. She gives the best massage in the world. I've had this happen to me, can I say?
Excuse me very much.
I went to a place that was near me. I'd never been there before, and it was a guy. And I don't know what he thought, but he started to get sort of, a bit handsy in an area that he shouldn't have. And I leaped off the table and got out of there.
Where was this? In Adelaide?
Yeah.
Where was it?
I'm not going to say. I don't want to say. But it was it looked perfectly respectable, but it definitely wasn't.
Okay.
I got out of Dodge. I couldn't get out of there quick enough.
Right. Okay. Well,
What is it about me that made him think that that's what I wanted?
I'm not sure, but what I will say is please forgive him for not reading the circumstances given you had the massage at 3 a.m. on Hindley Street. You're a healthy person, Jodes, and you're into all sorts of new health trends.
Yes, I'm not really into this one, though. Have you ever been for a fart walk?
Straight to it. Do you know, can I be honest with you?
Yep.
Not this morning.
Okay.
I think, unfortunately, I don't know why, but I'm going to say this. Blokes are so much gassier than women.
Why is that?
Well, why is that? Unbelievable. Do you know, Here
we go.
Oh,
I don't know if that's true.
my God.
Are you into a fart walk?
I could get around that for sure.
Really?
Oh, Molly.
Molly.
So
Really?
good for you. Get it out.
Okay.
She's in the confinements of a studio, though.
No, not in here.
Do you want me to explain what it is?
Yes, please.
So this TikToker has shared that she and her husband typically go on a 60-minute fart walk after dinner. She said, we eat a lot of fibre, so we have gas, and everybody does, so you fart when you walk. But the main reason we do fart walks is by walking for as little as 2 minutes, we are reducing our chances of developing type 2 diabetes, and they say it helps you age better.
Really?
If you go for a fart walk.
Okay.
Do you squeeze yours in front of your wife, or?
Well, do you know? This might be an age thing as well. I'm not sure because I'm 39 years old. I used to wake up and be like, oh my gosh, I've got a lot to expel. Maybe I need to go for a bit of a fart walk. And now, Cara would be like, are you fine? It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and what you did was disgusting. We're like, I don't remember doing that.
Oh.
Am I now farting my sleep?
Are you a sleep farter?
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Do people naturally do that?
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't used to do that, and now I do it.
Yeah, I think every now and then Gregotti lets one slip out in his sleep.
Doesn't he? I wonder what he's dreaming about.
I don't know. It's a very odd concept. There are a lot of people, I know a lot of people who have been married for 50 odd years and have never farted in front of each other.
Yeah, Carl's never farted in front of me. Yeah.
What?
That's crazy, right? Every time I mention that to someone, they're like, that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And I'm not against it at all. She just, I don't know why, she just hasn't.
I say this with all due respect, but is your wife just walking around squeezing her cheeks all the time?
100%. Well, maybe she is. Or when I'm out of the house, it's just like, bam, bam.
It's Jody and Hazy's Daily Debate.
Yeah, that's right, our daily debate where we talk about the topics that matter. The genuine questions that people want answers to.
Yeah, I was actually in Parliament yesterday for 10 News First doing a story, and I was trying to explain to Mally's advisor about our debate.
Yeah, how'd it go down? How'd it go down with the top
I
dogs?
said, have you been listening into our debates? We've done tomato sauce, beef and barbecue sauce. Today we did who'd make the best Prime Minister, a cat or a dog? And he genuinely looked at me like I was a moron.
Really? I thought you were about to say he looked at me like, finally, people are asking the right questions.
He did say, I wish I could listen to Nova, but of course he is forced to listen to the more serious stations that delve into the political problems with actual seriousness.
That's completely fine. He's stapled on to 5AA. We'll take that. Producer Molly, this is our final chance to ask a question that matters to the people. What have we got today?
Well, all week, Jodes.
Yes.
You have been ragging on Melbourne.
Correct.
If you've missed it, we've put together a little compilation.
Oh, great. The CBD in Melbourne is like Gotham City.
Really?
It is dark, it is drab, it is filthy. There are so many homeless people, which is awful and sad, and so many people just like yelling at the clouds. The first era was we went to South Bank, a very classy, expensive area. It's expensive. We just went for a casual lunch, 3 of us, had a couple of entrees, it was Thai, had a couple of cocktails, $280.
Wait, AUD or repair?
On the way to South Bank, we were strolling down the street, and thank God I wasn't mindlessly scrolling on my phone or anything like that, and I was actually paying attention to the filthy footpath, because I was 4 inches away from my foot treading down on a rat the size of a cat.
There you go.
It was a rat that was dead on the footpath, and it was this big, and I was like, this place sucks.
Exactly. Can we do this? Is everyone ready to go? 3, 2, 1. Melbourne sucks. Melbourne sucks. I stand by that too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, this could be a very interesting topic. What have we got, producer Molly?
Melbourne is the best city in the world.
No.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that, are we?
Yes, we are.
Are you saying someone's going to be for and someone's going to be against?
Yes.
Yes. Here
I've
we
done
go.
a lot of things in my radio career. Defending Melbourne will not be one of them. I can tell you that right
if
now.
If you have to defend Melbourne after everything that you've put out there this week.
That compilation didn't even take into account me teeing off on the Ballarat Oval for the footy this
100%.
weekend.
You really broadened it to the great state of Victoria.
All right.
Okay, here we go. The hat's out there.
All right. Jody, take your pick. Melbourne is the best city in the world.
Okay, what have we got in there? Yes or a no?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. No.
Yes.
You're in big trouble. You're going to have to go back on everything that you've been saying all week.
No.
Oh, all right. Do you want me to go first next?
Yeah, come on
Okay,
then.
so I'm going to tell you why Melbourne is not the best city in the world. I'm going to tell you why Melbourne sucks next.
My God. How on earth am I going to defend Melbourne after this week?
I'm going to start the debate with a minute next. Why Melbourne sucks. These are the questions that matter on Jody and Hazy.
It's Jody and Hazy's Daily Debate.
Yeah, that's right. The election is happening tomorrow, and we thought, why don't we just use this space, this platform, to actually ask some questions that matter.
Yeah,
that shape a nation.
Albo and Dutton are both in Adelaide at the moment, actually, making their last-minute pitches. There's been a couple of debates between our leaders. I mean, sure, it gets a little bit childish every now and then, but that's why we love it and we embrace it, and we thought, you know what, we're going to have our own debates about the things that matter.
All right, this is our last chance to really, really impact the nation. The question is, Melbourne is the best city in the world. You drew the short straw, and you're going to say yes.
Yes.
And I'm going to say no, it is not the best city in the world. Do you want me to go first?
Yes, please. This is on the back of me ragging on Melbourne all week.
All
And
right.
now it's your turn.
Time is mine. Here we go. Everybody with me. Melbourne is Melbourne is Where do I start? The traffic sucks, the coffee is pretentious, the people are obnoxious, and the weather is wildly inconsistent. Melbourne is where you'll find Collingwood. And we've all been annoyed by a Pies supporter at one stage in our lives. They're everywhere, in the cracks, in the sewers. And they'll tell you how much they love Nick Dacos. We get it, guys. He's perfect. And finally, people in Melbourne don't know how to pronounce Melbourne. Why do they say Melbourne? It's Melbourne, not Melbourne. Why? I'll tell you why. Because it's the home of the hipster. Brother, ooh. Do you know what I'm saying? In conclusion, Melbourne sucks, guys. Oh my God, I'd kill for a piccolo right now.
Very nice.
I feel like that's all that needs to be said.
That's all that needs to be said. Well done.
Okay.
Okay, coming up next.
How are you going to go on a bat for this city?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. But how long have I got, Molly? I've got about 3 minutes, 4 minutes to put something together.
You got this.
In defence of the great city of Melbourne.
Oh my gosh. Ahead of the election, we are asking the questions that matter. Somehow, via a rebuttal, next, Jodie's going to tell us why Melbourne is the best city in the world. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Good luck, schmuck. And also, 13 24 10, we want to know, we want your vote straight away. Melbourne, yes or no?
It's Jodie and Hazy's Daily Debate.
Finally, two people who care about the direction of this country. Finally.
So true. As such, we dissected the big issues this week. Tomato or barbecue sauce on your democracy sausage.
Yeah.
That was one. Yesterday, we said who would make a better Prime Minister, a cat or a dog?
Yeah, it was dog.
And today, you have very craftily come up with a topic, producer Molly, and that is Melbourne is the best city in the world. You have just argued against that.
Yes.
I am for the affirmative, which hurts my soul.
Which goes against everything you've been saying all week.
I've absolutely crapped on the state of Victoria for a week now. So are you ready? Here is my defence of the city of Melbourne. Melbourne, 5 words. We stole your Grand Prix. Nah, 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 nah. What can you say about Victoria? It has a wonderfully thriving rat population. It's the birthplace of Eric Bana, Kate Blanchett and the Minogue sisters. Speaking of, while you're there, just swing by Ramsay Street and pay a visit to Bouncer. Brilliant aquatics over the border. Think the sparkling Yarra River. And you'll always have water because they've stolen it from the Murray before it gets to Adelaide. It's also the state that has the good sense and wherewithal to reject Carl and Jackie O. It's the only city where within 5 minutes of each other you can watch the Australian Open, the A-League and the AFL at the MCG, where security is so loose you can smuggle in a gun. It's also home to the greatest football team on the planet with the least amount of dental care. Go Pies! Illicit substances are so readily available, you can basically shoot up on the street, and they do. And it's also the location where you can lace beef Wellington with deadly mushrooms. Melbourne, uniquely different and deliciously obnoxious about their coffee.
Okay. Can I just reaffirm something?
Yep.
You're for Melbourne, right? You're with Melbourne?
I tried.
Because these great things don't seem so great. They're certainly not SA great.
I did the best job I could under the circumstances.
All right. The one that got me was the thriving rat population.
Oh, it is.
It's an absolute haven.
Trust me.
Wow. Okay. Look, it feels like we're both against Melbourne, but you were supposed to be for Melbourne. I'm against Melbourne. 13 24 10. Give us a call right now. We need your vote. Let's settle it. Is Melbourne the greatest city in the world? You can get on to social media as well, at Jodie and Hazy. Please cast your vote. Phil from Freeling. Good morning to you, great man.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
We're good. Who are you leaning towards in this great debate about the city of Melbourne?
The only good thing that has ever come out of Melbourne is my partner.
Oh, there you go,
Oh,
Kate.
that's nice.
Lovely partner. you have.
Melbourne sucks. Me and my dad went down to pick her up, and we left on the Friday night, got there Saturday morning. I didn't even know if it was Saturday morning. It was that grey and dark.
The weather's a big thing, isn't it? It's just like, and you can start out really nice and then just
turns on you.
It just turns so quickly.
Thank you so much, Phil. Just kicked it off with a
Yeah.
nice little vote saying that Melbourne absolutely sucks. That's against Melbourne, by the way.
So that's 1-0 to
Yes.
you at the moment as it stands.
We'd love to take a call from you, 13 24 10. Are you for or against Melbourne? Let's settle this great debate. Please jump on social media as well, at Jody and Hazy, or send us a text, 0400 919. Let's settle this great debate next.
It's Jody and Hazy's Daily Debate.
Oh, cheers. What a journey it's been. Head of the election tomorrow, Jodes. And we just thought, why don't we take this opportunity to discuss the things that actually matter to this country? We kicked it off on Wednesday
Yeah.
with a really, really top-shelf, stressful question, and that is, what sort of sauce do you want in your democracy sausage? It's barbecue, it's tomato. Overwhelmingly, tomato won.
Yeah, it did. And then yesterday we thought, okay, let's elevate this debate debacle that we've got going here. And the question was, who'd make a better Prime Minister, a cat or a dog? Overwhelmingly, dogs won.
Yep. Cats put up a good fight, by the way. Really good fight.
Cat people are surprisingly passionate, aren't they?
Very stubborn. Very stubborn. Just like their cats.
Yes. So today's debate centres around the city of Melbourne. Now, I've been ragging on it for the better part of a week now, and now I've been put in a position where I was forced to defend it and say Melbourne is the greatest city in the world.
But what I like as well, that even in your defence of Melbourne,
Yep.
you actually kind of bagged it. You lost me as well when you're like, go Pies. Nobody in South Australia wants to hear that.
It was very passive-aggressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a thriving rat population. Oh, fantastic. For all the rat enthusiasts out there.
Yeah. Well, that's on the back of the fact that I nearly stepped on one that was the size of a cat when I was over there last week.
Turns out it was John Platten. Dad joke.
Such a dad joke.
All right, so we are putting it out there on 13 24 10. A lot of calls coming through. Thank you for that. And also the text line is absolutely going off 0400 919 919. Instagram at Jody and Hazy. I think we have a result. Producer Molly, you ready for this? The great city of Melbourne. Are we for or against?
Against.
The people have spoken.
What a shocker.
The people have spoken.
And guess what? I've never been more happy to lose a debate.
Spot on.
More happy in my life.
Oh, good stuff, guys. Thank you for contributing to the questions that matter. You know who else we should put this to?
Who?
The bloody Prime Minister.
Oh.
Can we get Anthony Albanese on here, please?
Yes, we can. I got his number.
You've got his number, don't you?
You guys are mates.
Right. Watch this space. Let's see if we can get the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, to talk all things big.
Whoa.
And that is toppings on your democracy sausage, etc.
Yep.
Melbourne, for or against. All right, we'll do it after this. Montel Jordan on Nova.
This is how.
Fizzy Fridays, Fizzy Fridays, Fizzy Fridays.
I mean, Jodes, not having Fitzy on a Friday is like waking up and not having a coffee. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, so
It's just,
true, mate.
you can't set yourself until you've had a nice hot cup of Fitzy.
100%. And fresh off the front bar in Melbourne, Ryan Fitzgerald, good morning.
Jodes, Hazy, I am the extra shot to your show, aren't I?
Oh,
Yeah, you are.
You are.
It's potent too. You're a potent shot, Fitzy. Well done.
Yeah. Or you could consider me an espresso martini every now and then, you know?
Oh.
100%.
Hey, Fitzy, you jet into Melbourne for the front bar on Channel 7. How do you find Melbourne as a city? Because let's be honest, I've been ragging on it all week.
Look, I love it because of their culture. I really do think that they embrace sport and
Yes.
music and the arts so well, but it is just a great city to visit and walk away from it saying I could never live here.
Yeah.
Yes, spot on. Oh, my gosh.
It's so true. As a city, it's pretty grim, isn't it? And I nearly stepped on a rat the size of a cat. I'm not even joking.
Yes. Well, you'll run into an umpire every now and then, Joe. So,
Would you ever want to move from Port Noarlunga South is the question.
mate, I'm done. Just stick a fork into me, check my temperature. The roast pork is done. I'm not
He's ready
moving
to go.
anywhere.
He's ready to go. And I'll tell you what, this term gets used very loosely, Fitzy, but I believe it is God's country down there.
Yeah, it is God's country. Yes, it is. Gary Ablett hasn't been there yet, so I'll have to take him down to his own country at some stage.
True. Hey, Fitzy, we've been doing daily debates this week in honour of the election on Saturday and everyone heading to the polls to cast their vote. And we thought, I don't know that these politicians are talking about the things that matter. They're talking about Medicare and the cost of living crisis and immigration and all those boring things. We've been talking about tomato sauce, beef barbecue sauce, and who would make the better Prime Minister, a dog or a cat. You have one of each. Go.
Okay, so I do have a dog and a cat. I don't have a good relationship with the cat, so definitely dogs, because dogs just greet you whenever. But see, they're not really annoying dogs. Politicians are annoying, so maybe a cat would be better as a Prime Minister, guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Controversial.
That's true.
Can I just say, with a cat, you go to give it love and it gives you nothing. So that's what politicians do. You ask them for love and they give you nothing back.
That is true as well. And Anthony Albanese, very prone to a hairball every now and again as well. So there's similarities.
And licking his own nut, yeah.
You've met Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. You've been to his house, basically. He's like a big old Labrador, isn't he?
Oh, he's great. Actually, do you know what? You know all these brain rot marketing and advertising that they're doing and all the memes marketing that they're doing for political ads these days?
Yeah.
Like, he's just not like that at all. There was one that showed him dropping a catch in our backyard cricket game at Kirribilli House. But what they didn't show, that he went on to make 43 with the bat. He's a gun with the bat.
Yeah, right.
Can you? What's the slogan? Can you trust this man at Gully? I don't think so.
Can you trust this man to take 5 wickets and win the game for you?
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Hey, Fitzy, we should quickly touch on the footy on the weekend. Your Crowies, how are they going to fare against Carlton, who are a bit hot and cold, to say the least?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Unfortunately, I can't make it because I'll be handing out information flyers for the Trumpets of Patriots. Yeah, this is going to be an absolute belter. Not a good time to get Carlton. They're playing really good football at the moment, but we need to win these big games. We took a huge breath and it was of relief as well when we knocked off GWS, but we need to do it again, and Carlton will be a great team to knock off because they're one of the informed teams in the AFL at the moment. So I'm going to back the Crows. We've got the fog back, which is which he's much needed, but yeah, it's going to be a great game on Saturday afternoon.
Hazy can't make it either. He'll still be out the front of Calvary Hospital waiting for Riley Thilthorpe to check on how his finger is.
No, I'm actually waiting for Clive Palmer.
To have a heart attack.
God, you talk about the democracy sausage. Clive will be having a few of those on the weekend. Has anyone pointed out as well that his surname is actually probably the greatest counter meal that you can get at a pub as well?
Yeah, 100%.
So true.
He changes it to Glove Palmy.
Oh, gosh. Ryan Fitzgerald, for all your elite political news, we've come no further than you. Well done.
Blessed.
Congratulations.
No worries. See you guys.
Let's get ready to rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, Battle of the Bangers.
Ah, yes. What a beautiful, wholesome space this is when you're winning. When you're not winning, it can be very, very brutal and fierce and sometimes obnoxious, let's be honest.
You're the one that gets obnoxious. I don't. I try to be gracious in defeat.
I'm telling you right now, I am talking about myself.
Thank you.
Yes.
The score for Battle of the Bangers, where we pit 2 songs against each other, is 6-5. And this week, apparently, we've had a record number of votes.
Yeah, we'll take that. It was 2005?
Mm-hmm.
We got some songs from there. And yeah, it's really, really gone off this week, which I'm very, very happy about. So just a quick recollection. You've gone with this Green Day classic. Bit of Holiday. And I left it to the last second. I had no choice but to choose this Maroon 5 classic. And when I say Maroon 5 classic, I mean the only genuine song that's ever been written from Maroon 5. She will be loved, ladies and gentlemen. sorry. I'm getting into it too much.
Wow.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry.
Sound,
I was singing from the soul then too, by the way.
Stop it,
So
I'm
what
married.
just happened? I blacked out for a second. What happened? What happened?
Who's the dirty bird from Maroon 5? What's his name?
Adam Levine.
Adam
Andrew
Levine.
Hayes.
Not me. Watch
Okay.
out, because Adam will slide into your DMs.
Okay, camera guy Josh, you know how much this means to me. You bought me a Green Day T-shirt. That's how much I love this band.
Yes, and it's a great song.
It is.
So fingers crossed for you, Joe.
All right, here we go. Would you like a drum roll there, big fella?
Give me a big old drum roll, Hazy. But it's Andrew Hayes.
Oh, there we go. What did you think was going to happen, Jones? I feel like this is pretty one-sided this week.
I backed in Green Day. I just had faith.
It's okay. Well, next time, mate.
Hey. What did we say about not being obnoxious?
Can't help it.
What did we say?
I'm working on it, all right? I'm working on this space. So that takes us now to 7 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
You ready, Jones?
Yep.
You ready?
Yep.
I think you like this song, though.
I do like it.
So you can appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I'll leave my obnoxiousness at the door
Thank you.
to the best of my ability. Here's your winning song.
Very nice bugle playing there, Andrew Hayes. That's good. Hey, it's SA Derby Day at Morphettville tomorrow. It's a Group 1 $1 million race, and one of the premier jockeys in Australia is Jamie Mellum, and she joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Now, you won this last year, yes?
I did. So going back to back to the goal this week.
Ooh. You race so much, Jamie. Do you feel that sort of pressure? Or you just like, it doesn't matter to me, it's another race that I'm going to win?
Oh, it's funny in Adelaide. Last year I did feel the pressure. I had a good chance, I thought. And it's just out of all the Group 1s, this was one of the specialist ones just because it was back in my home state in front of all my friends and family. So, no, there's definitely pressure.
Now, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're newly married to Ben. Ben is also a jockey. Are you racing against each other tomorrow?
Yes, we are. He's beaten me all week at Warrnambool, so I think it's my turn this weekend to ride a few winners.
He's beaten you this week, has he? How does that go down at home?
Well, it was his shout last night for once, so at least he could pay for dinner.
Yeah, that's nice. Hey, Jamie, this is a broad question, but I'm just going to put it out there. What's it like being such a dominant female amongst an industry where traditionally the men have ruled it and you're smashing all of them?
Absolutely.
It's amazing. We love beating the boys. And, oh, God, there's a few amazing females that's been started riding the last few years, so I think the girls are taking over.
Absolutely, and it's all started with Michelle Payne, who won the Melbourne Cup. You've been so very close. Do you reckon this year's Spring Carnival is your turn?
I hope so, yes. I had a great year last year, but the spring, I got one Group 1. I didn't have a great Spring Carnival, so hopefully this year's my year.
Yeah,
sure.
and Jamie, for those who don't know, talk us through your preparation in terms of racing, what you have to do to get at the right weight.
Well, this week's insane because I've been at Warrnambool all week. I fly back to ride at Cranbourne Friday night and then fly in late Friday night to Adelaide and then get a couple of hours to go for a nice walk and a little sweat before the races. But look, my weight's quite good compared to some of the guys, and I think that's the benefit of being a girl. The weight's a lot easier. Like Ben's, he doesn't have much fun. He's got to lose 2-3 kilos every day. And then I have a coffee and have a piece of toast and laugh at him in the morning. But yeah, no.
Is there a time of the year where you can effectively just sort of relax and let yourself go and just not have to worry and stress about these
This is the thing. She's got a villa in Bali. Give it a plug if you like. But when you go over there, is it all bets are off and you can just cut sick?
It's amazing because I don't get a Bali sim. I just turn my phone off and not speak to anyone. It's amazing. So normally winter, look, there's racing every day of the year besides from Christmas Day. So most jockeys do ride most of the year. But winter, I'm not a fan of riding in the rain and the cold. So I normally like to head up to Bali. Yeah, Villa Sugi, there you go. I'll give it a little plug.
There we go.
Yeah, very nice. It's Bintang City up there.
Yeah. And then when you're over there, can you just have nasi goreng for breakfast? How does it work?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then, look, you might get a bit of barley belly and lose some weight on the way home, so it's even better.
There you go. Finally, some perks of barley belly.
This is the thing about barley belly. You just want to get the right amount just so you feel, your stomach feels flat. Jamie, all the best tomorrow up against Ben. It's going to be who are you on, actually? Who are you riding?
Mon Lavalier. Look, last week before the barrier draw came out, I thought this horse would just win. He's always given me an amazing feel of a decent horse, and he just hasn't really shown up until he ran a super race last weekend and ran second. And I think the 2500 would have suited him down to the ground, but now he's drawn barrier 15, so I'm going to have to pull out some magic and give him a good ride. But if everything works out, I think he'd be hard to beat.
I remember interviewing Johnny Letts once, and he called you a horse whisperer. So hopefully,
hopefully I start. Yeah, I'm going to have to do some horse whispering on the weekend.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and all the best for tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.